Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander, and you are watching a brand new episode featuring this matchup: Insects, Vehicles, Ultimate Betrayal, and Sheoldred. As you may have noticed, hopefully, these last few videos, this should be episode 37, I believe. 35, starting with 35, we have a brand new setup and upgrade. We've got life totals visible. We get to see pop-ups and actual show the cards themselves. The rigging is a little better. If I bump the table a little too much, unfortunately, the camera will shake. I'm trying to be aware of that as much as possible. And we've had some issues with I mean myself, I've had some issues with the sound. Episode 36 was great, no problems, but episode 35 got screwed up and I sounded like a robot a couple times for some reason and it got garbled. I switched which program I was using to record, and that seemed to have helped for episode 36. I think that's what it was. Also, the computer popped up some messages in the middle of the first episode 35, which, just like like, oh, hey, this upgrade is ready, or, whatever, whatever. So that might have, like, not actual malware pop-ups, like actual computerized, like, HP Assistance is saying this and that, or Norton Antivirus is saying this, here's a buy this new subscription for Norton. It's like, so those popping up and utilizing the hard drive might have screwed up the sound on the first episode, but that wouldn't account for the screw up at the end of the episode because nothing was popping up at the end. So I don't know. We're just going to hope to heck it doesn't keep happening, right? Let's hope we're past it. So let's go ahead and jump in. I rolled the dice. We've got Ultimate Betrayal will be going first. Hopefully that'll give this deck a chance, at least this time. We're going to play Evolving Wilds. We're going to sack that for probably, we'll go with a island, I think. Find an island real quick. One of the benefits I've noticed is I can finally cut out dead air. So when I'm walking around to the opposite side to get, when I pass turn from certain sides, or if I'm shuffling or doing something and not talking, I can just cut it right out as long as there's not like I'm not doing things with my hand on the screen. It doesn't, you don't really notice it, which is awesome. It doesn't make the episodes much shorter. Hang on, I gotta shuffle over here. Doesn't make them much shorter because I cut out a ton of little clips in episode 37, but it only shortened it by like literally 2 minutes. But it did make the episode flow a little better, so that was nice. We're gonna pass turn. Untap for Sheoldred, we're going to play Reader's Outlook. It's one of those ones from New Capenna. It's basically a deck thinning kind of thing. I mean, it does help because when it enters, you sacrifice it immediately and search for one of three types of basics, and it gains you a life, which is nice. So there we go. Um, but obviously, in a monocolor deck, doesn't really make much sense, you're saying. But I'm still experimenting with the idea that deck thinning without going crazy in a monocolor deck kind of helps. And I have to say, I think it kind of does. Not drastically. It's not going to be like something taking you to a CEDH level or anything crazy like that, but putting in just the basics, just like Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, and Mirrored Landscape into monocolor decks tend to help, I think. And then with these Riveters, well, there's a series of these cards in New Capenna. They're named different things, and each one will grab a different three basics, but they seem to help a little bit, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all we can do over here. We're going to go ahead and pass. I'm over here now. We're going to close this stupid thing that just popped up for Norton. Thanks a lot. You better not have screwed up the sound. Draw a card for turn. We're going to play a forest and tap it for a turn one play of Scoot Mob. That is a 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 5 or more lands, put 4+1/+1 counters on Scoot Mob. It's really good in like a landfall deck or anything that's got mana ramp, like heavy mana ramp, because you can get there fast and make him really big. But you'll notice he doesn't have trample, he doesn't have haste, he doesn't have anything crazy, so he just becomes a real big creature once you've got 5 lands on it, and he has to keep coming around to the upkeep to do it. So it's not gonna like drastically big. I just like it. It's Scoot's Mob is the first one before Scoot Swarm, which is the really one that everyone loves. But we're gonna go ahead and pass. Draw a card. Return Terramorphic Expanse. Let's go ahead and just deck thin everybody. Island comes in. Gonna have to, oops, grab those last two and try and do some quick shuffling here. These are the non-matte sleeves, which I'm trying to phase out of all of my decks because they're just, I liked them because they were shiny and I liked like the idea of metallic, shiny deck boxes and sleeves and stuff. But unfortunately, it just makes it really hard to shuffle these things, especially if your hands sweat a little bit. Like, unfortunately, mine do. But whereas the matte sleeves, like those two decks have matte sleeves, they almost, the decks fall apart practically. These two are the classic, or whatever. You can see they're kind of glossy and stuff, and they don't shuffle very well. All of them are Dragon Shields. I love Dragon Shields, but I'm just saying I've been converted to the matte side, MATTE, of buying sleeves. But that's all we can do over here. We're gonna go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a Rakdos Guildgate, comes in tapped. I do have a 1-drop, but it is a black 1-drop, so it's not going to be played off of an island, so we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Well, we're just going to go crazy and Terramorphic Expanse on that bad boy. Swamp comes in tapped. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a swamp. Shuffle up, but yeah, see, like, well, I'm not doing it very well right there, but yeah, they shuffle a lot easier. And you can just smash them together a bit real quick. Give it like a little hand shuffle there. Well, obviously it's a hand shuffle, but do I have any 1-drops here? I do not. Got 2-drop. We can't play it yet, so go ahead and pass. Standard, slow starts to my games, unfortunately. We're gonna untap, upkeep, draw for turn, and then I will play a forest, tapping both to play a fire diamond. Comes in tapped and taps for a red. I can't attack though. I mean, and no one can even crack back, so why not? We'll go ahead and send 1 damage at you just to put you back on the playing field with the rest of us. Haha! Take that. And it's funny. I think I realized it the first time I played, but I love the fact that I just accidentally put the insect deck on top of the Spider-Man playmat. And yes, I know, arachnids are not insects. Spiders are arachnids. They're not insects. Classic Spider-Man joke against everybody except for Dr. Octopus. Little known fact, he's the only one that ever calls him an arachnid because he's a genius, scientist, and he knows the difference between insects and arachnids. But moving on, pass turn, untap, upkeep, draw. Play another island, and do I have a 2-drop? I do, but it's not the kind of thing you want to use right now. So we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. For turn, I'll play this one. Here we go. Creeping Tar Pit. Comes in taps for blue or black. I do have 2-mana spell, so we will tap 2 for Talisman of Dominance. Taps for colorless, or it taps for blue or black, but it deals 1 damage to you if you do that. Let's see. I could use that for the black to play the 1 black drop and then get. Oh, I mean, you know what? Maybe we will. I think we're gonna try it. Let's go. We're gonna tap it for a black, taking 1 damage to play Dark Ritual. Add 3 black mana to your mana pool. Okay. I will then use that 3 black mana to play Arterial Flow. Each opponent discards 2 cards. If I control a vampire, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So I don't have a vampire, but everybody is discarding 2 cards. Early game like this, it's pretty good. So let's start over here. Do I have any massive value spells? I think I want those. I want the land. I have to discard 2, don't I? Ooh, that's not good. I'm going to discard Diabolic Tutor. Probably a bad idea. And then, ooh, gosh. That's actually, a really good spell to play right now because this was a semi-decent hand for them. Crushing Disappointment. We saw that last game anyway, so that's fine. Moving over here, what are we going to discard here? Do we have anything big to discard? Yeah, we hate to do it. Again, I have to discard two, so it's not even. So, all right, so we'll discard Crawl Stinger. We've seen that before, and Vorpede. So that card actually was pretty good right now. Although not for this one, because we're just going to discard a land. This is tricky, guys. I guess we'll go with. We'll do Ruins of Oan Reef. Or Ran Reef. That was actually a good move this early in the game, because that was most. Nobody had an amazing hand, but they all had decent cards. So getting rid of two was a pretty big hit. So we're going to pass. Nobody's happy now. Draw a card for turn. Finally play a regular land. And then I will tap three, play Pristine Talisman. It just taps for a colorless, but when you do, you gain a life, and that's just good in this deck because it's about life gain. I don't have any colorless one drops, so we will pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'll play a mountain for turn. Luckily, I have green spells in my hand, so tap 1, 2, 3 to play Grow from the Ashes. I can't pay its kicker's cost, so search your library for a basic land card, put on the battlefield, does not come in tap. Then shuffle library. If it was kicked, you get to do two. Now, if you've been paying attention from the last couple games, you'll know that I missed having basic swamps in this deck. I rectified that very quickly between last game and this game, just by taking out two forests and adding in two swamps, just so that when I have a search spell, I can at least get the black when I need it. I didn't really think it through. I didn't tear because I didn't want to tear apart the deck in terms of separating everything out into its components, like putting all the lands together, then analyzing the lands and seeing like, well, how much these lands that tap for one of two colors, blah blah. These like the ratios of black pips versus all that. I didn't feel like dealing with that just yet. We can attack again, of course. So let's see. You made us discard, so we're gonna hit you for one. And I do have two, no, I guess, technically, but I don't have any two drops. So we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play a land for turn. We're going to tap two for Arcane Signet. Gives taps for one of any color in our commander's identities. Um, Again, I do have 2 mana spell, but it's something that should be held on to for later. It's nothing jaw-dropping. It's just impede momentum, which you can tap a creature and then put 3 stun counters on it, so that it takes 3 turns, 3 upkeeps for those stun counters to be removed before it can actually untap. That's definitely something you want to hold on to until a big creature or commander is attacking me. So we'll go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a Thriving Bluff. It does come in tapped, and I will declare black. So this taps for red or black from now on. I've got 4 mana. Can I play? I believe I can, right? Blue, red, black, one other colorless to play. Zevlor, Aetorial Exile. Hasty 4/2, pay 2 and tap them. I can copy the next instant or sorcery spell that I cast as long as it targets only one specific thing, like one specific player or one specific permanent a player owns. It can't have targets, multiple targets within the spell, which is fine. That's only meant for like super detail oriented minutia kind of players that are like, well, that says technically blah blah blah. Uh, I get it. I understand the logic, but it's still a little goofy that it matters the difference. So we're gonna totally go to combat, swing 4 damage at you because you're the one you just pinged me. Blah blah. 4 damage, and then we're gonna need to know that 4 of that is commander damage over here. All right. Everything we can do there. Pass turn. Ye Old Sheoldred is just buying his time. We're going to play a very important Reliquary Tower. You have no maximum hand size and tap to add a colorless. That would help with this deck because this is meant to have card draw in it. So you want to have more than a full grip, and you don't want to have to throw those things away. Clearly, I think at this point you have to go straight to the commander. It's turn 4. You need to get him out. Ideally, it would have been a little sooner than now, but that's fine. So, 4/5, Death Touch. Whenever I draw a card, I gain 2 life. Whenever opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. Let's remember to keep track of that, folks. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Draw for turn. Take 2 damage. Now, finally, we have all 3 colors for my commander. Question is, do we need anything else to go out first? Probably not. We should probably just go straight to the commander. And there she is, Zira, the Golden Sting. Haste flying 3/3. Whenever she attacks, put an egg counter on another creature that doesn't already have an egg counter. If that creature dies with an egg counter on it, we draw a card and gain a 1/1 insect. All right, so we can go to combat. They have no flying. Actually, nobody has flying right now. You know what? It's really funny, but we're gonna fling over at you because it's making enemies. 1, 2, 3, and now we have to be aware of 3 commander damage over here. These two guys are just like looking at each other like, what is going on? The insects and ultimate betrayal are just like, stop hitting me, stop hitting me, stop hitting me. So goofy, but sure. We're gonna go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn, take 2 damage. And I know I didn't attack with Scoot Mob. That was meant to leave up as a defender. So I drew a card for turn. I'm going to play a command tower. Taps for 1 mana of any color in my commander's identity. Now things like Arcane Signet and Command Tower, it's like why? It's a monocolor deck. But I don't know. Command Tower, I could absolutely just put another basic in. There's no reason for that to be there other than I had it and it doesn't hurt. Arcane Signet, you could argue to put another basic in instead of that, but because then it would, instead of costing 2 to, but it's still kind of a mana ramp, and on turn 2, instead of just playing a land for turn 2 and that's it, you could play a land for turn and tap and make Arcane Signet. So now you're a step ahead. I don't know. It's almost like the deck thinning idea where it's like, but monocolors I don't think need as much mana rock ramp as other decks clearly, but you still want ramp in every deck. You want to have more mana than your opponents and access to more mana on your turn so that you can dump as many cards as possible. It's one of the key components of Magic, I feel. Having more mana than everybody else, more card draw than anyone else. That way you have the mana to play all the cards you're drawing, which should theoretically put you ahead. I will then, and to that end, I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3 to play Bonder's Ornament. Another mana rock that taps for 1 of mana of any color. It's a mono deck. Why have it in there? But I really do think Bonder's Ornament is an undervalued card. You pay 4 and tap it, and each player who controls a permanent named Bonder's Ornament draws a card. As I've said numerous times, most people don't run it. So you can do that, and you're the only person that's going to draw a card. And it's a 3-drop. I know everyone hates 3-drop mana rocks, blah, blah, blah. We're not trying to play CEDH here, folks. You should know that by now. I don't see the problem with 3-drop mana rocks at all. And I'm sure as heck not paying $100 or more, 200, who knows? I don't even know the proper prices for like all the stupid 0-drop mocks, thises, and whatevers. It's like, that's not happening. So we're going to stick with our monos, or our mono colors. We're going to stick with our 3-drops rather. But then 1, 2, 3 to play Master of Ethereum. It is star, basically. Master of Ethereum's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts you control. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Great for this deck. Also, by the way, now his power and toughness are 2, too. 3, because he's an artifact creature. So he's a 3/3. If I didn't have these, he'd be a 1/1. So there's an added bonus for having these kind of things in there as well for something like that. But that's all I can do. We're going to pass turn. Spent a little too long on that turn, just, jaw jacking about my ideas. Should probably try and keep that localized into like a separate video or something, I guess. But I was just trying to explain my thoughts. So we're going to go ahead and play a Bloodfell Cave. We gain a life, but it comes in top. One, two, three, four, 5 mana. And we're going to. Nope, that was dumb. Hang on. Put that. Nope. Other way. Calm down. All right. So again, Magic is about knowing how to play your turn in the right order. So we're going to tap for black, and then one, two, three to play Dread Presence. A 3/3 with landfall, basically, a landfall trigger. Whenever a swamp comes into. Oh, you know what? It wouldn't have mattered. So, well, but then again, I do have a swamp. Sorry. Take a breath. Calm it down. So, we're playing Dread Presence. He's a 3/3. When a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Draw a card and lose a life, or it deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. So now I will play a swamp for turn, dealing 2 damage to any target and gaining 2 life. We're going to deal 2 damage to you, and oh, shoot, hang on. And I'm going to gain 2 life, but guess what? I forgot about the draw trigger, huh? 1, 2. So basically, I just negated my own draw trigger on that. So that's better than nothing, but I got him down. Now, here we are again. Let's take a break. Did I forget that on your turn? I don't think I did. Right, because I just played him last turn. These two, we've already joked about not having damage. So that's fine. I didn't miss it there. I don't think I missed it there. I only missed it on him. But we're fine because it was 35, draw a card, take 2 damage, get down to 33. But then I play that and play a land, go back up to 35. So I think we're okay. I apologize if I screwed that up and I won't know it until I rewatch the video, but I think we're okay. So I can swing out. Well, she's got flying. I don't have flying, so keeping my commander up isn't really going to help that much right now. Um, what do you think? I can swing in over here and not worry about having it get killed because it's a 1/1 currently that can block. Yeah, which is actually about to change. So this is probably the best time to do it. So yes, that is what we'll do. We will attack you, but at the same time, we're not stupid. So it's like, well, this is about to go up real big. Why sacrifice it now? We'll just take 1, 2, 3, 4. However, it is commander. So that's a very risky gambit, but we'll try it. And then we're going to pass turn. Okay. Taking our time. Don't want to forget these stupid triggers. Untap, upkeep, draw. Gain 2 life. Yeah. Stop. What are you doing? What is the pause thing? I will then play Mortuary Mire. Enters tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. I don't have any creatures in my graveyard, so no worries about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. We're going to tap 2. Well, hang on. Be smart about it, right? Tapping a black and one other, gaining a life, to play Night's Whisper. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. So doing this in order, I draw a card, gain 2 life, draw another card, gain 2 life, and then lose 2 life. Now let's see, did I get anything good? I did. Oh, wow. Well, unfortunately, we just saw this last game. I can't believe it. But, I mean, I can believe it totally. We're going to tap and tap to play Lightning Greaves, move to equip. No one has any open mana. Well, a little bit of open mana, but nothing that can really do it. So now he has Shroud, so he cannot be the target of spells or abilities. I have, for the record, I've decided what I'm going to do, and I did it this game, is while I'm trying to get the opening hands, I shuffle up real good, and I take the top 7, and hope as long as it has 3 lands, and I'm trying to play a little smarter because you are in a friend group. Obviously, each group's different. You want to turn 0, talk this out, but most of the groups I play with, it's okay to keep mulliganing, drawing 7 cards. You don't have to draw down to 6 and 5 and 4. Just keep drawing 7 until you have a playable hand. which obviously has a decent amount of mana for your deck, so ideally three, and one or two low cost spells so that you have something to do in the beginning. You're not going for an ideal perfect hand, but something I've always done is I've just taken, if it's got three lands, we move on. But I've been screwed by that so many times where it has three lands, but a bunch, and then four drops, a five drop, a six drop. You know what I mean? So all I can do is just play a land every turn for the full for like 3 4 turns. Um, and you do kind of fall behind like that. You're not searching for any kind of mana rocks. You're not searching for best plays, but you want to have three lands and a one or two drop or a two or three drop in there somewhere so you can at least participate in the early game. But what I've done on top of that now is if I do that and okay, it's got three lands, great, son of a gun, here's two cards we just saw in the last game. I take them out and draw two more cards off the top to replace them. I'm not like splicing together a perfect hand. It's just seven cards, three lands. Freaking, Lightning Greaves again. Take that out, draw the next card. It's another land, fine, whatever. Or it's a five drop, fine, whatever. But just so that we don't always see the same cards, at least in the beginning, because that I drew that just now. So it wasn't part of the seven. I couldn't take it out. So we're still going to see repeats, which is still crazy to me in terms of like, the concept of shuffling and, theoretical random placement. But regardless. And again, I'm dragging this episode out by rambling, and my apologies. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. That's all I can do here. Over here, we're going to untap, upkeep. We're going to draw. I'm going to lose 2 life. And gosh golly, I've already forgotten things, haven't I, folks? Ugh. Pseudo tempted to just like scrap the video and start over almost. But so what I've missed is I've missed egg counters with Zira. Problem being what was out during the plays. That's where we're gonna just say I put one on him to make it easier and put one on him because nothing's been blown up, so we're fine. We didn't miss a chance to get an insect and to draw a card, which would just hurt us anyway. But see again, ugh. And I know when I'm watching this to edit it, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you missed it, you idiot." At least I'm catching these things now. That's a step forward, right? Trust me, the first, 20 some episodes, I don't ever catch them half the time. So, okay, we took the damage. We caught ourselves back up with the egg counters as we should. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. I will play the land I drew. So this doesn't go up yet because it's at your upkeep and we passed that. So what else can I play? I'm going to, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just use all of it. Or Stag Beetle. Stag Beetle comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of other creatures in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's pretty solid. As I was saying that, I'm like, oh, I should have waited till there was more on the field, but no, not really. He's now a 6/6. Pretty cool. That's a good blocker and attacker. No trample, no other fancy things, but it's still a nice deterrent. All right, so once more, we have flying. We are going to go to combat. We are going to remember our triggers now. And I'm going to put a egg counter on that thing. We are flying. Now the question is, where do we go, though, really? So that's on declarative attack, which we're still doing. I could swing back at you, or even you. I mean, they can swing at anybody. Nobody has flying. But it's one of those things like, do I go over there because he's going to start gaining life and be out of reach again, just like last game. So maybe this time around well, last time we did attack with her as well. So we're going to follow that again. 1, 2, 3. And now you've got 3 damage from her. The reason being, like, yes, I should focus the damage over here, but, and you're not supposed to carry over grudges between games, but the fact is that this is still a match. This is a set of 3. We know what that's going to do. It's going to just start trying to get as much health as possible. and get out of reach of regular damage. If we all know that now, we should all start swinging in to curtail that. So there we go. We've done that. We're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn, take 2 damage. I'm going to play Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, which you've seen all 3 games somehow. I will then tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Play my commander, Katsumasa the Animator, flying 3/3, pay 3 until end of turn. Target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with flying. That's important. I did forget that at one point in last game. If it's not a vehicle, it has base power and toughness 1/1. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 3 target non-creature artifacts. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to play the next thing. So he could attack 1, 2, 3. It's still just a 3/3. Obviously, they're not going to, and they don't have anything else to buff. So we're gonna have to pass him. So we untap, we upkeep, draw, take 2 damage. Okay, we're gonna play a swamp that we just drew. Get this trigger. It's gonna deal 2 damage to any target, to you, boom, boom, and then we're gonna gain 2 life, boom, boom. So we get our draw trigger back. Unfortunately, this is bad. We only have 3 lands in our hand. So that's really bad. I guess I could have drawn a card, but I would have ended up losing 3 more life. Um, so perhaps on the next turn we might have to do that because I did kind of learn from the last game. I was holding on to a lot of draw spells over here because I didn't want to deal damage to myself early game, but that could have helped us get to a better position. So we probably need to just take the bullet and bite the bullet, whatever, and take damage early to draw cards to get answers to that and to get his aspect going. So this is the 3rd game, and you're not seeing him do what he's supposed to do, which is take control of everybody else's stuff. All right, but unfortunately, I really don't think attacking is even a good idea at this point. I don't have flying, so I really can't help with the damage over here. So we're gonna have to pass, which is bad because untap, upkeep, draw, gain 2 life. Ooh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Can't do that just yet, which is good for everybody else. But all right, well, we can do that next turn if we do this now. Right? 1, 2, 3, gain a life, and 4. Aetherflux Reservoir. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Okay, 50 life, Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. As my friends like to say it, it's the Sky Laser. And boy, if we'd had this out last game, we could have done some wrecking damage. But yes, so all we gotta do is start playing spells, get our life total up above 50, and we can snipe somebody. But that you gotta be careful with that because, oh, I'm at 55 life. I'd pay 50 life to kill you outright. Great, but now you're at 50 life, and you're kind of screwed. Someone else can just like smack you at the back of their hand and you die. Okay, yeah, let's do that. This should work. I mean, no one's really gonna be hurt by this, but it gets us a card draw. So we're gonna pay 1, 2, play Grave Consequences. Each player may remove any number of cards in his or her graveyard from the game. Then each player loses 1 life for each card in his or her graveyard, and I draw a card. Now, first things first, whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. I'll actually cast 2 spells this turn, so I'm going to gain 2 life. Boom, boom. Then the spell goes, it's on the stack and it's going to be resolved. So everybody may remove as many as they want. So I'm just going to remove all of them because it's each player, so it's myself. It doesn't say exile, it says remove them from the game. So I guess we can just like move them to the side here. Everyone's going to do the same thing because no one's stupid. And in this particular circumstance, no one has graveyard recursion decks, so it's not going to really hurt anybody. So that just happens, no big deal. Everyone's graveyard just goes away. But I draw a card, which is also really important. So I gain 2 life off of the card draw. Excellent. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think, well, he went first, right? Yes. So this is, okay, I missed a land drop. Well, I just didn't do it yet, so good, because I drew a land, and that's really important. Ah, yes, that's why, because I actually didn't have enough mana to cast this really good spell in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7. Okay, okay. That's why I was looking at some other cards to play. So this is perfect. That works out really, really well. We are going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep. I'm going to actually put a dice on here because I do have an upkeep trigger now. Scoot Mob is going to get 4+1/+1 counters because we have 5 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to draw a card for turn. I'm going to take 2 damage. Boom, boom. And we are absolutely going to cast what we just drew. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Arasta of the Endless Web. Love this card. It's a 3/5 with reach, which is great because it stops the flyers. But whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. That's when they cast it. Doesn't even have to resolve. So that's going to screw over everybody that's, well, these two especially, because that's what they're going to want to do is play spells and instants, or instants and sorceries. Wait, why is that tapped? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any 2-drops, so that's not going to be anything there. Nothing's blown up, so we don't have to worry about her thing. We only drew 1 card, so we only took the 2 damage. Okay, so we got a 5/5. You know what, though? Clearly, with Aether Flux Reservoir, it's almost a no-brainer. Everyone's going to come swinging at you. I got a 6/6 on the ground, a 5/5 on the ground, and a 3/3 in the air coming at you. What are you going to do, champ? You're going to take the 3, go to 6 commander damage for sure. 1, 2, 3, right? Um, this is kind of funny. I know what's in that hand, obviously, and it's not going to. Well, there's no guarantee using it on insects is the best bet because everyone else has more health. So we'll see. But yeah, I really don't want Sheoldred to destroy it. I guess I'm just gonna take the damage. That's gonna be 11 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, what would you guys do in this situation? Would you block at least one of them? Because here's the thing. Sheoldred can't kill either one of these. He can stop the damage from the 6/6, but he's gonna die. He can stop the damage from the 5/5, but he's gonna die. So, you know, we just end up losing our commander, and we could recast him on the next turn, sure, but they're gonna have these 2 big beasts coming back again. Insects, not beasts, but you know what I'm saying. Um, so I think we just let it go through. We weren't really that close to Aetherflux Reservoir anyway, so it's not a big deal just yet. She attacked. Haha, almost forgot. She attacked, so we're gonna put a egged counter on. That's really the only other one of the only other targets. And we could theoretically put them on our own creatures. That's not a bad idea because if you know your creature's gonna get, blocked or something, you can do it and get some card draw on a 1/1. So we're gonna pass. Untap, upkeep, draw a card for turn, take 2 damage. I am then going to tap 1, 2, 3, play Foundry Inspector. Artifact spells cost 1 less to cast. Cool, because we are then going to cast or tap 1, 2, 3 instead of 4 to play the Weatherlight. Flying 4/5. Whenever the Weatherlight deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a historic card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Ugh, so much text. Historic cards are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. It's got a crew of 3. I got 1 mana left over. Now, I can't actually. Well, this is the first vehicle I have anyway. I could attack. She is. I keep calling it a girl. They are a flying 3/3. This is jumped up now, which is great. In fact, I'm going to try and remember this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just going to say that like that. So they're not counters. It's just a 5/5 right now. And other artifact creatures get +1/+1. So this is now a 4/3, and this is now a 5/6 when it becomes a creature at least. And I missed my upkeep trigger. Hang on. It really wouldn't have mattered because it would just go on to these things that aren't going to be creatures anyway. But we want to, make sure and no, sorry, it would go on him. That's an artifact. No, no, no. Sorry, it cannot go on an artifact creature. So we're right. Just these two get the counters for right now. Important distinction. But regardless, we are going to send the 3/3 your way because it's flying. You have no flying. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. Next turn, and then these will both be flying. So that's going to be even more damage. More damage from there. It's going to be tricky for Sheoldred to survive, which is fine. But I'm just saying it's going to be interesting. That's all we can do here. We're going to pass turn. Nothing to untap. We're going to upkeep, draw a card for turn, take 2 damage. Awesome. Another land. Thanks a lot, deck. You're really making this deck look impressive. So we'll play Geothermal Bog because it comes in tapped. Who the hell cares? Nope. Sorry. Bloodfell Caves because that one gains us a life at least. Yeah. Not even worth. And it's not a swamp, so it doesn't trigger that. I don't have a swamp in my hand. Well, actually, Geothermal Bog does count as a swamp. Um, and we would have gained 2 life. So I guess I was right the first time, guys. Sorry. Take backsies for the 50th time. Easier when it's just me. A real game, people might be like, hey, hang on a second. You just bounced that already twice. So a swamp enters. You're going to take 2 damage. I'm going to gain 2 life, but it's just 1 because I already gained the 1 off of thinking Bloodfell Cave was going to be it. So the math is fine now, but that's as far as we can go here. We're going to pass turn. Everyone's dogpiling on Sheoldred, which, to be honest, is fair, especially after last game. So we're going to untap. We're going to upkeep, draw, gain 2 life. So yeah, we kind of have to do this. It's going to be super bad. It doesn't even matter. It's just a KO. It's a one-shot KO. But the question is who? I guess the question isn't the question. It has to be insects because they have the most damage on board for us. Followed by, vehicles. But yeah, I think we need to make an example of someone. So here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3 black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 gaining a life. Will you stop with that? What is that? Get out of the way. Shoot. No, up. Okay. 28. That's what we were at, right? To play Peer into the Abyss, targeting insects. Sorry. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, rounded up each time. Kind of irrelevant. Because every deck has 100 cards. Well, has 99 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever's over there, 13, 14, I think. So 99 minus 15 roughly. So 89, 5, 84. So half of 84, which would be 42. So you're going to draw 42 cards and take 80 some damage because you're going to lose 2 life off of each card you draw. So yeah, you're dead. 1, 2, 3. Dead. That's just a real mean. That's just a real mean one shot. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Because now everyone's just like, oh snap, what just happened? Okay, oh snap is a little, cringy, I guess, but whatever. They're gonna be like, oh shit, what's going on? He just one-shotted him. And I also gained a life because I played a spell. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, come at me, boys. What you got? Gonna pass turn. Wow, insects is probably really ticked off right now. But to be fair, they were cracking us for a good like 13 or more damage. It was going to be more. Technically, hang on. Well, it doesn't matter. They're dead, regardless. But I did again miss triggers because we lots of people cast. He cast. Well, actually, nobody cast any instants and sorceries except for Sheoldred. So it's okay. So when I cast it, he would have made a 1/2 green spider creature token, and then it would have gotten blown up anyway. Well, died whenever she died. So here we are. Really, everyone's shaking in their boots now. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn, take 2 damage. I guess we'll play it simply because we can. We're going to play Impede Momentum on Sheoldred. So it's going to tap it and then put 3 stun counters on it. So it's going to go through 3 upkeeps before it can untap. Although Sheoldred wasn't even attacking anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. However, it does mean shields down because now there's not any blockers whatsoever. So that is good for everybody else. And also, I scry one. We're going to scry. Yeah, I think well, it's pretty high cost, but yeah, we'll leave it up there. See if it does anything. Let's see. We're going to, well, now that shields are down, I guess that's the smart thing is to just go ham, right? Tapping 3 to use the ability of Cook's. Wait, hang on. Forgot. I upkeep trigger. It's because I don't have a dice on my deck. There we go. So this would get a counter, and then these would go up. But that's the only ones that are able to get it. So now we pay, because that would have happened. Then I drew the card, took the 2 damage. Then I played that, and now I tap 3 to activate the ability, turning this into a creature, and then swinging the board at you. Because it's all or nothing at this point. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hang on. Sorry. This buffs all other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, he's not going to survive, I don't think. What's the attack here? When it deals combat damage, you can look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal a historic, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom. Artifacts, legendaries. So it's the top 5. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, we really only have one option, so we're going to put that Cyber Drive Awakened in our hand, the rest on the bottom in any order. Put that back. Okay, it's up to you on Ultimate Betrayal. Pass turn. We're going to untap, upkeep, no upkeep triggers, draw, take 2 damage. Hey, at least it's an actual thing. I'm now going to play Bloodfell Caves, gaining a life. Ooh, okay. Well, no, because now that's so it's not really gonna help matters too much. Or wait, maybe it will. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so close. There's nothing else we can steal. Yes, there is. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sucks to be Sheoldred this time. So we are going to tap a blue, a black, and then 3 others. Oh, hang on. I'm almost forgetting. Like, well, if we do that, then that we can't kill him. Okay, so that sucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can't tap him to do the ability because then we would be down 4 damage. So we're gonna play Slave of Bolus. Gain control of target creature. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the end of turn. Ah, sucks to be you too. So we are going to take control of Master of Elithrium, which is a 5/5. Ooh, however, each equal to the number of artifacts you control. I wonder if that drops. That would drop drastically, huh? Darn it, because that's the only way to kill him. Because if I steal the command, because I can't steal this, that's no longer a creature. I can steal that, it's just 3. Steal that, it's also 3. I was going for the 5, but if this only if this is based off of whoever's controlling it at the time, yeah, probably shoot. Because that was going to be enough damage to kill Bolus. Now instead, I'm going to steal this, untap it, and move to combat, send all of them over there. 3, 6, 4 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this gets sacrificed at the end of the turn. So now that is back here, and it costs 2 extra. Sorry, guy, I'm also trying to win. So that is there. I have 3 mana open, but no, I still just have friggin' land in my hand. All right, and unfortunately, I'm going to be wide open on my next turn, or on their next turn. So okay, but that's that, right? We're going to pass. This comes down here. We're going to untap. We're going to upkeep. We're going to draw. We're going to gain 2 life. This doesn't say anything about negating. This goes down by 1 on the upkeep, by the way. Permanent with stun counter would become untapped, remove it. Yeah, it says nothing about um, abilities. It just says it can't untap. So we draw a card. We're going to play a Swamp for turn. Ah, shoot. This isn't really even going to hurt them that much. See, this is a really good card, but not anymore. um, okay. Yeah, now it's only going to get us a little bit too. So, all right. So first we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, gaining a life, and play Dark Deal. Each player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards -1. So I have 2 cards. I'm going to discard them and draw 1, unfortunately, but it's going to gain me 2 life. And I also played a spell, so that's going to gain the life on cast. So everyone else is going to do the same thing. We've got 2 cards here, discarding. They're going to draw 1 and take 2 damage. And then, unfortunately, we've only got 2 cards here. Discard them and then draw 1 card, take 2 damage. So obviously that's meant to be later on. That's meant to be at a point where, everyone has a more full grip to really do damage. And this card that I just drew would help with that. Tapping 1, 2, this is gone, to play Howling Mine. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. That is now 2 spells, so I'm going to gain 2 life. And unfortunately, that's all I can do. And I'm going to die on my next turn. We're going to pass. We're going to come over here, untap, upkeep. Upkeep trigger, but no, because the commander's gone. So untap, upkeep, draw 2 cards because of Howling Mine, so that's 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna play an island for turn, tapping 1, 2 for the fee, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. In order to recast Katsumasa. Yeah, Summoning Sickness. And unfortunately, I do not have enough lands to activate the ability even with it. And it's not an artifact, so it doesn't cost less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still a 5/5. However, they're still dead. Because what we can do is we can tap, well, we could even do that too. We can tap Foundry Inspector, actually, the smart move, tapping Katsumasa to crew with a Weather Light. Now, these are a 5/5, and no, actually, this is a 6/6 with the boost. 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Let's play this right. We're going to send these 2 at you for exactly 9 damage and 5 at you. Right? Because it's flying. It doesn't even matter because he has no blockers. Yeah, no blockers at all. And this is 4, 5, and then it gets a buff from that. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Bing, 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 bing. Kaboosh. Sorry. Nice try, Sheoldred. You almost had it. Not really. And then 5 damage over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Still beating us, though. Not good. Of course, there is the combat damage thing. So now we look at the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're gonna. No, wait, sorry. I was gonna. Oh, we'll put that on. Nope, can't put that in the hand. Let's see. Yep, I guess we'll put this into our hand. The rest in the bottom in any order. We don't have a we do still have that trigger off of the commander now, but no Howling Mind anymore. End step, go past turn. We're gonna untap, upkeep, draw for turn. No actual concerns there. And then let's see. First, we're gonna tap a blue to ponder. To the card we drew from. Oops, that doesn't go ahead. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order, shuffle and draw. You can shuffle if you want, and then draw. Sorry, I don't want to take too much time here. Control, goaded, well, that's not going to help, but yeah, so we need, why is that tap? We need these 3 to do the one in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is not enough to do that anyway, so we will put them back in any order and then draw a card. I will draw this one. I will then tap 3, including black, to play Read the Bones, which you've seen before. Scry 2, draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. So Scry 2, I'm actually going to go ahead and put them both on the bottom. And then draw 2. 1, 2, did not help much. Lose 2 life, 1, 2. And then, let's see. Yep, now his ability is useless because it's 1-on-1. So we might as well not worry about that. Oops, this is over here. And we're tapping these 3 to play Besmirched. We've seen that before. Until end of turn, gain control of target creature, and it gains haste, untap, and goad that creature. Goad means it has to attack every turn if able, but it can't attack you if able. Meaning, like, one-on-one, goad is useless because it's just going to force them to attack me, which they would anyway, under most circumstances. But goad is great with other people still in the game. Unfortunately, there are not. So we're going to go ahead and steal your commander, untapping it. Then we're going to move to combat. Yeah, well, we get blocking at this point is kind of, we just need to start. It's basically going to be just a smack fest. Who's going to get there first? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. All right, it goes back to you. It's goaded, so it has to attack next turn, which it's definitely going to anyway. Pass. I hope I haven't screwed anything up by now. I think I've been on top of everything. We're going to untap, upkeep trigger. So we're going to put pluses on these. Draw for turn. Sure, we'll Tomb of the Spirit Dragon to play a Soul Ring. Then we'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play a Forsaken Monument. Legendary artifact. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, add an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. Unfortunately, I don't have any more vehicles in my hand, but I don't think it's going to matter too much longer because vehicles is about to lay the smacketh down. If you are old enough to remember that kind of talk. No, if I play a land, I don't think it really matters at this point. We're going to tap 2 for Vedlican Engineer, which we've seen before. Unbelievable. It's a 1/1. You can tap it to add 2 mana of any one color. Spend it only on artifacts or activated abilities of artifacts. Let's see. Well, you know what? That's an excellent point. I am not going to do that because I think it's better to keep the mana open. Because we need to spend the mana to use his ability to crew the Weatherlight so that we can swing with everybody. because colorless creatures you control, so it's only going to be these two, are getting buffed by 2. So we are swinging the board, obviously. Although, well, let's do the math first, right? 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my gosh. Okay. A buff from here and a buff from here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 5. No. Jeez. 15, right? We got 15 plus 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh my gosh, it is exactly enough, right? So let's do this again. Let's hold on. Because this is getting plus his power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No artifact land. So he's a 7, 7. Now, and he's giving the plus 1 buff to these two. These two are also getting the buff plus 2 from here. Once more, with feeling, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Exactly 25 damage. Whoosh! No! You need the Yu-Gi-Oh sound effect right here. Bink! No, not. There we go. That was really surprising. Somewhat surprising, I think, to me at least, anyway. So cool. Yeah, there you go. Victor of episode 37 is Vehicles. I think Vehicles is the winner of the match, actually. I think it's won 2 of the 3 games. So as you can see, kind of what I assumed, honestly, except for some, like, I assumed Sheoldred was powerful, but wouldn't never get the chance to do it. It did it once, fantastic. But even with the Aether Flux, which is a really key card for that as well, it just couldn't get the card draw on everybody else going fast enough, and we were able to just overwhelm it with just damage. It didn't even come down to any real answers like a normal game would have, a removal and stuff. Insects did insecty things, which was cool, and it was a force to be reckoned with, honestly. If it wasn't for that Eye of the Abyss or whatever, Peer into the Abyss, insects might have had a chance at going and taking the entire game. So that's not a detriment to insects. Vehicles has been performing actually surprisingly well for me. I didn't think it was going to be a decent deck after I built it. I'm like, it's, I don't have the best vehicles. I put some of the vehicles in the Optimus Prime deck, so blah, blah, blah. This is still doing fairly well. Regrettably, Ultimate Betrayal just will not get going. It started to do, you saw it doing some of what it's supposed to. It stole some creatures a couple times, which is great. Ideally, it should have been stealing bigger creatures and more of them because it should be using his ability and then targeting one creature and then taking one from everybody. But I think I just need to focus on some sort of either. I think that just needs more card draw, to get more and more mana ramp somehow. I don't know. I think it just needs to be faster. It's not bad. It just needs to get going faster and have the cards it needs earlier. Not, because I tend to keep getting the really big spells early in the game and they don't do me any good because I don't have the mana. I need some of those smaller 3 to 4 drop spells that are like, I'm just going to take your commander for a turn and blast it. And then also ideally have like Ashnod's Altar on the field and be like, cool, I smacked you with it, your commander, and now I blow it up and it costs you more. But there you have it, folks. Match 3 is a wrap. Vehicles is your winner. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. Maybe you saw some cards you want to put in your decks. Maybe you saw some weaknesses. Let me know in the comments. And I hope you come back. I will see you next time.